Before we continue with the rest of the video, we could use your help. Click that like button to help spread the word about Watch JoJo, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. He thought someone had donated bags of clothes. Then he looked closer and saw them. A man approaches a pile of bags on the street, sure that someone has left a donation of clothes for the ministry where he works. But as he leans over to make a closer inspection, he notices something unbelievable among them. That man was Mark Purcell, who's employed as a chef with Metropolitan Ministries in Pasco County, Florida. And in fact, he made a discovery that would transform many lives that fateful day. Indeed, pastors Ronnie and Crystal Stewart are part of a refuge church in Newport Richey, Florida. They married at an early age, and as they were both raised by pastors, chose to dedicate their lives to the church. In 2007, though, Ronnie decided that he wanted to open a church in the Tampa area. He moved there with Crystal, and together they began raising their family of 3 children: Ronnie III, Riley, and Selah. When the church opened, the Stewarts were aware that Pasco County had a high homeless population and wanted to do something to help those less fortunate. Therefore, they joined forces with the Metropolitan Ministries and began serving free hot meals at the church twice a week. In 2015, however, Crystal was diagnosed with cancer and underwent a full hysterectomy. Sadly then, she and Ronnie acknowledged that they would never get pregnant again. But little did they guess what fate would bring them instead. Indeed, just a short 6 weeks after Crystal's surgery, the couple crossed paths with 2 young boys who would go on to have an incredible impact in their lives. But the story really began with Mark Purcell's chance discovery of the trash bags, or more specifically, what nestled among them. You see, Purcell found 2 small children sitting surrounded by the bags. There were actually 4 or 5 bags here, he said in an interview with Fox 13 News. A child in a car seat was on top of a bag. The other child was sitting here with his feet cold. They were only in diapers, no clothes. The child in the car seat was just 7 months old, and his brother sitting next to him was 2 years old. Their mother wasn't far away either. She was watching Purcell from around the corner. It turned out that the boys had been living with their parents in a tent in the woods. The family regularly attended the feeding program, and when Purcell approached the Stewarts with what he found, they immediately recognized the boys. So on November 6, 2015, Crystal decided that she could no longer see the young boys suffering and do nothing. She asked her husband to speak to the parents and offered to take the children home for a bath and a night in a warm bed. Immediately, the boys' parents agreed, and Ronnie and Crystal found themselves driving away with the children in their car. Only after they got home did the Stewarts realize just how badly homelessness had affected the boys. They were covered in bug bites head to toe, Crystal said. They were so filthy that we actually had to bathe and drain and bathe again 2 different times. The toddler who did have shoes on didn't have any socks on. When he took his shoes off, the little skin on the top of his feet actually came off. The next day, the Stewarts returned the boys to their parents, thinking that would be the end of their role in the children's lives. However, just 1 day later, the family approached them in the parking lot outside their church. They were accompanied by a social worker who told the Stewarts that the boys were to be removed from their parents. They asked the couple if they'd be willing to take temporary custody of the children in order to avoid placing them in foster care. We just looked at each other and knew there was no other option, said Crystal. Of course, we said yes. That day, Ronnie and Crystal agreed to take the 2 boys into their home. 5 months later, they were still there. In March of 2016, however, the Stewarts were faced with a choice. Should they place the boys into foster care or adopt them as their own? Believing that the children had been brought into their lives for a reason, the couple began the process to legally adopt the boys. Further, on March 28th, they launched a GoFundMe campaign to cover the estimated legal cost of $10,000 and have since raised nearly $40,000. The adoption process was set to be finalized at the end of April 2016, leaving the 2 brothers happily settled into their new home. We know that they're special, and we're just excited to be part of their journey, Crystal said. Please don't forget to click on the button if you liked the video, and share this video with your friends below.